to show you guys my pre-K work boxes. We have changed up systems a few times since we started the school year because it was hard for me to get a flow going with our school. So what I wanted to do was try out the workbox system. So the little black card that we had in our homeschool room tour video, instead of using it for art card, I actually just used it to do the work boxes, and we used those little carts over there, the craft carts, to store our art stuff in and our craft supplies over there. I'll do another video about that because there isn't much in there anyhow. So these drawers, the IKEA Alex drawers that you guys see, they house all of his materials. So we use these to store all of his materials, but I needed a place just for the work and a system and a flow so that we weren't like stuck in a rut, because it was like, okay, what do I do next? What do we do next? And even though there is no specific order, it was just kind of like putting a damper on my day and making me just want to quit. So I figure if we give this a try, which we won't actually be putting it into effect until next week because we're on a break this week, but if we give this a try, hopefully things will be easier. So I'm just going to get into it. The first drawer up here does not have a label on it because it's just for our index cards, and it houses our posters. The posters I printed off Teachers Pay Teachers. The index cards I got off of a link off of Pinterest. I just used binder rings to keep them all in place so I don't have cards all over the place and saying, you know, where's this and where's that. So the main focus was to have some organization and storage to some really good supplies that we already have. So I laminated these. We'll be using these, and all of this stuff will be stored in the top drawer. So we have shape posters and flashcards. We have number posters and flashcards. The flashcards we'll go over on a daily basis. The shape posters will be hung up here on his board on those clothespins. So we're gonna have two letters. We'll have a shape and a number. So the labels that are on the work boxes, I created myself on an app called Canva. So I originally got the idea from another homeschool mom that was on here that I watched on YouTube. I can't think of her name, but she was making homeschool IDs. And so that's originally where we got the idea. So I said, hey, why not make my own, customize my own workbox labels instead of, you know, going to get more. So the first one is our Islamic study one. So what we'll do is once he's done with something, we'll go ahead and I'll move everything over for us, or I'll let him do it. That's just another interactive activity for him. So I'll let him move the workbox cards when we're finished with something. So what we'll probably do is just pull the whole workbox out, set it on the desk, work on it, and put it back. I pretty much have them in order on how I want to do them. It may or may not change. We just have to try the system to see. So the next box we have is handwriting, and inside the handwriting is his stress ball that he got from the Dollar Tree. This is a name card that I got off of Teachers Pay Teachers, I believe, and we laminated it, and he'll just practice his handwriting, and it has some concepts, you know, that he can go over on there as well. And then he has his handwriting notebook that was shown in a previous video with some of his work. So he'll just go over that every day. You know, I'm not too strict on the handwriting, but I do like him to get used to learning how to hold his pencil and, you know, the correct way, and just getting the practice in. Next is his language drawer, and this is all his alphabet stuff. So in here is all of his alphabet worksheets, his alphabet stamp cards, worksheets, and then all of these worksheets. And there's also going to be, let me see if I can find it for you guys, a letter craft. Each letter, I'll show you in another video, but each letter is going to have a letter craft that we'll do. Then he has his preschool theme box. So for preschool thing, what we actually decided to do is I don't want him to have to cut and paste every single solid thing. Even though cutting practice and everything is great, it just takes up maybe a little bit more time than we need to use since I have multiple homeschoolers. So what I thought of was for each theme, I'll print out about 4 to 5 activities, maybe one activity for each day that we do school, and he can do, I'll laminate them, put it on binder rings, and he can do some interactive play with those activities. And how we would reinforce those activities is we would use science and art to do those activities. So what I would do is use the boxes on the top. These yellow are where he's going to store his themes, and the manila file folders is where we'll have any, like for instance, these bingo shape cards and stuff, any games that has to do with any of the language or math concepts. And then, like I said, these will be for his themes, and I just got these from Dollar Tree. So we'll store the themes up there, and then when it comes time for that week, we'll just go ahead and put them on here, or when we're done using them, we'll go ahead and store them in the file folders, and he can use them to play anytime he wants to. It doesn't just have to be that week. So this week coming up, next week we'll be working on weather. So that's what this guy is for. So what I do for the theme is I store the themes up here. That we're going to be working on the upcoming themes, and I print those out on a weekly basis. We store those in this box, but we store all the manipulatives in baggies, and I put them in that big box there. So any hands-on stuff, the baggies will be labeled. I haven't labeled this one yet, but the baggies will be labeled, and then I'll throw them in the theme box for the week so he can work on those activities. And we have some little red trays that we'll just throw that stuff in, and he can dig in and change. And then when we're done, I'll put them back in the baggies and throw them in the box so that we can keep up with everything. And then our next drawer is the math and calendar drawer. So we have his math notebook, which I haven't added his calendar yet. I won't do that until we start working on calendar. But he has his math notebook in here, and he has his math tray that I redid for him. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the math tray. So the math tray, before we were using the flashcards. So I just put the flashcards on the ring instead, and printed out some more little manipulatives off Pinterest, and he'll go through here and we'll put the number in one box. So this is like the number 6. We'll put that number in the box. We'll put a shape in the box. And then he'll have other manipulatives that he'll use to put in the box. With that, we'll put some pieces in here to count. We have the number tiles that he can use to match, you know, and put in the box with the number or whatever. So that'll be in his math drawer. So we'll do hands-on stuff mostly, and then we'll use our worksheets just for like review. So they aren't like the main go-to. I want him to do a lot of hands-on things that are stimulating. So that's the math drawer. Sorry guys. That's the only thing about these drawers is that they're a little tight. But other than that, they're okay. I actually had it for a couple of school years and never really used it, so I guess now's a good time. And then his next bin is his sensory and motor skills. We have construction paper that I use for him for scissor practice. I'll just draw lines on him and have him cut tracing those lines with the scissors. He has a sticker activity book, which he can use just for play. These aren't things that he has to do only for school. He can also do them for playing. Then he has his concepts, which I'll keep all his flashcards for concepts like these that we got from the dollar store are same and different, you know, big, small, left and right, anything that we're focusing on, and activities that I create for we'll put in that workbox. And then he has his, sorry about the glow, his science and STEM workbox, which will put science activities in that'll go along with our preschool themes workbox. So those two will kind of go together. It's down at the bottom because we're not going to do science every day. We're going to do it once a week. And the same thing with art. He has a watercolor painting activity that he has in here. I'll probably let him start his day off with art just so that he can, you know, get his brain going, get his hands moving, and, you know, kind of get some of those jitters out. So he can do that watercolor thing on a daily basis just to get us started while I'm setting him up for school. But there'll also be one art activity that pertains to the preschool theme that he'll do a week. So he'll do one art activity and one science activity that'll go along with the themes, and that'll kind of give us extra review. And then the all about board is always going to have just the theme stuff on it, because the posters are posted on here for our language and our math stuff. So we'll use that board to put our themes on, and he'll have words. We can just go over those every day. So I'll just put word cards up for the theme, go over that every day, and we'll do our work boxes. We'll go over our posters every day. We'll sit down sometimes in the evening around dinner or something like that, first thing in the morning. We can play with the flashcards. We can also take the flashcards off the binder rings and match them and stuff like that. So again, this box is going to house all of the baggies of manipulatives that he'll be using once we're done with them for the week. And then the file folders is what we use to store all of the games for the themes. So that is pretty much it. The little yellow bin that's hanging off here I got from the dollar store. It was on clearance for 25 cents. It's actually a colander that you use to wash vegetables and fruits and things like that, a strainer pretty much. And we just use it as a trash bin. So all those papers and stuff that he cut up, we just put it there so that we can dump it at the end of the day. We don't have papers and stuff all over the place. But that is it for how we are going to use our work boxes. I'm actually going to use Canva to create another label to show that we use that first bin for flashcards. Or maybe I'll just take a plain label and write it on there. But I left it blank so I'll know that that's where I get the flashcards and the posters from. If you guys have any questions or comments, come join us. Check out some of our other upcoming pre-K videos. I have some more videos that I'm working on getting up for you guys on how we do our 6th grade and 3rd grade curriculum as well. We would love to have you back. See ya.